Hello, everyone. Welcome to AP Physics. I'm Mr. Hotelling, and I'm very excited for this year in AP Physics. I want to give you a little bit of an introduction to me in the course before I turn you loose on your various assignments. But first, let me say a few words about the school opening, COVID, grades, AP exams, college, and life in general. School opening, whether you're starting the year remotely, whether the school changes its course and we all start remotely before September 8th, shortly after we start, everyone goes remotely, or whether we switch back and forth multiple times throughout the school year. I've designed the course in such a way that this should not have any adverse effect on your learning of physics this year. Being at home does not inherently put you at a disadvantage. The only challenge will be in how you manage your time, which is in and of itself a wonderful opportunity for you to have in preparation for college. Most students report that's one of the most significant challenges they face when they go off to college. COVID. The virus has and will continue to present challenges for all of us in our daily lives for the foreseeable future. Some specific changes that you will see in this class as the result of this are all the instructional lessons will be recorded and available to you to view and rewatch multiple times. The recorded lessons will be as succinct as possible to ensure you're not wasting time. I've been doing this for 26 years, and I found ways to simplify the information as quickly and easily as possible. The videos themselves will often come in the form of ed puzzles to help focus your learning and provide on-the-fly assessment to you about your progress. Getting help in person will become extremely difficult. That's because of social distancing, which scientists are now saying, with nearly incontrovertible evidence, must be more than 6 feet. Turns out 6 feet is an old standard from the mid-20th century. If we can't be within 6 feet of each other, we must rely on technology to help us see each other's work. This completely levels the playing field in terms of getting help in school versus being remote. Assessment should become more modern. The AP exam last year was an open note, open book, open internet exam, much like most of real life is. If nearly all the world's knowledge is available to us, why shouldn't we always have access to it? It's a question that we've been asking for decades in education now. The question has been asked for a long time. Let us hope that we take the AP exam online again this year. I'll be preparing you for that eventuality. The AP Physics Notebook is designed to provide you with easy and quick access to all the information you might want to access on the exam. Your college and future life. Please remember that all students your age are in nearly identical situations with the uncertainties you're facing with college, whether to take a gap year, do I go to a public or a private because of COVID and the potential for remote learning? How do I finance my college? Your career choices. Students always have those choices to make, but they are heightened during the time of COVID. Also remember, though, that every one of those possible options will be chosen by countless other students. Tens of thousands will take every conceivable path. It's hard to fathom that any of those choices will lead down a wrong path for you. In other words, you can't go wrong. Keep in mind that you'll be choosing from paths, all of which lead to positive places. So along these lines, I've been thinking about many quotations I've come across over the years. First of these is from a book that I read when I was in college and had a very profound effect on me. It's called Illusions, The Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah by Jonathan Bach. He's also the author of Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It's Richard Bach, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And this is a quote from a book in it that the main character reads, "There's no such thing as a problem for you without a gift in its hands. There's no such thing as a problem without a gift for you in its hands." William Shakespeare. "Sweet are the uses of adversity, which, like the toad, ugly and venomous, wears yet a precious jewel in its head," from that bard of Avon. Next comes from an unlikely person who I've come to study recently over the last couple of years. And he's someone I tremendously admire. I consider to be one of the most brilliant, courageous, resilient, and willful role models for any person to have, for any man to have. And that is Malcolm X. There is nothing better than adversity. Every defeat, every heartbreak, every loss contains its own seed, its own lesson on how to improve your performance the next time. You may remember a more common phrase that's attributed to Henry Ford, which is there's no such thing as failure, only an opportunity to begin anew. It's somewhat in a similar vein. And lastly, a very, very contemporary quotation from the last 15 years, someone you know very well. You should never view your challenges as a disadvantage. Instead, it's important for you to understand that your experience facing and overcoming adversity is actually one of your biggest advantages. And that's Michelle Obama. Now, you've probably heard many things like that from adults over the years. But what's interesting is when you read the leadership literature that CEOs and managers and people like that read, very often they talk about this very mindset, and that people who are the most successful in all aspects of their life, from business to finance to personal to family, and just achieving happiness, have that attitude with everything. And you can see that thread going through those previous quotations I sent you. Now let's shift a little bit to physics in the course. I love physics. I'm certified and have taught earth science, chemistry, physics, and mathematics at high school, middle school, and college. But physics is something special. And that's why, after all of these years of teaching, where I have pushed to land myself is in physics. Physics resides at the nexus of philosophy, mathematics, science, and the nature of every aspect of the universe in which we live, from the smallest scale, smaller than the quark, down to the quantum foam, to the largest scales of our universe, and maybe even the multiverse. As Lord Kelvin put it, in science there is only physics. All the rest is stamp collecting. Interesting quotation there. This is not to disparage the other sciences. I love them all, and each has its particular focus and scale, all of which are a subset of physics. Physics is the most fundamental of the sciences. As students who've taken my course in the past have said, I can't look anywhere now and not see physics. Above and beyond all else, I want to help you make connections and look at science with a sense of wonderment and awe. From the philosophical bases of physics, influences on physicists throughout history, the nature of space-time in which we live our entire lives and is the bubble in which our science of physics operates, and the beautiful and counterintuitive ideas in each area of physics we will encounter in the course. As we start our work, I want to learn a little bit about you. To that end, I put together a little survey to help give me a picture of who you are as a learner, a person, and an intellectual. Then we'll set up our physics notebook, this very central tool of organization and recording and documentation that we'll have in the course. And I'm so very excited to start this year with you. And please do not hesitate to contact me at any time. More communication is always better than less communication in a course like this. During normal hours, 8 to 5, it's unlikely you'll have to wait for more than an hour for a reply from me. And that's starting today. I look forward to seeing you all soon.